Hello students, welcome in class 9. Dear students, here I am going to provide you the e-content on the topic My Childhood. My Childhood is chapter number 6 from your Beehive book and written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Before I start, I would like to introduce about myself, Nitish Kumar Srivastav, TGT English, JNV Guna, Madhya Pradesh. The introduction of the chapter starts. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has extracted this chapter childhood from his masterpiece The Wings of Fire. The Wings of Fire is an autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and from that autobiography Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam gave a small fraction in the name of My Childhood to give you more and more important things to learn. Here in this lesson, he narrates his childhood, his school life, his family, friends, etc. Whenever you have an opportunity to go through the Wings of Fire, you will find more and more valuable information, especially the entire life is just entered in the Wings of Fire. About the author, as I have already mentioned that this topic, My Childhood, is written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Especially it is an extract from his masterpiece Wings of Fire. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in the state of Tamil Nadu in a Muslim family on 15th of October 1931. In those days, the state of Tamil Nadu was known as Madras, but nowadays the name has been changed and it is known as Tamil Nadu. His father, Mr. Janul Abdin, was a boat owner who used to arrange boats for the pilgrims who used to arrive in Rameswaram for visit. His mother, Mrs. Ashiyama, was a pious lady who taught her children all the good manner. Dr. Kalam had 3 more brothers and 1 sister. Throughout his life, Dr. Kalam always followed the right path and taught us to follow the same. Some other information about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as you are familiar with him, he decorated the post of Prime Minister of the President of India from 2002 to 2007. When he was a child, he raised in Rameswaram, studied aerospace engineering, physics, and later became a scientist. For the next 4 decades, he also decorated the post of Senior Scientist Manager in the 2 respective departments such as DRDO and ISRO. He also worked on the project Ballistic Missile and he introduced more and more innovation in the sector of ballistic missile. That's why we proudly call him the Missile Man of India. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also received the highest civilian award of India, that is known as Bharat Ratna. Besides this, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam received more and more awards in his life. And during the lecture in IIT Shillong, there was a cardiac arrest, and on the date 27th of April 2015, at the age of 83, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam died and left us a message for him. Now the lesson starts and we are going to see his early life. Dr. Kalam, telling about his early life, says that he was a simple boy from a simple parent. Means there was no show off in his personality. There was no show off in his family. His father was a austere father who was not in a favor to provide the luxuries to his children. Austere father means simple but strict in manner, discipline and behavior. Besides, basic necessities such as fooding, clothing, shelter and medicine was always available in his house. Means there was no dearth of these basic things in his house. His mother Ashiyama used to fetch the food to the family members along with outsiders too. Interesting thing is that so many outsiders also arrived at his house to food in the daytime. Narrating about his father, he further says that his father didn't have formal education but he had innate wisdom. Means the father of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam never joined never joined the school in his life, but his wisdom was up to the mark. He was a far-sighted person, a decent person, disciplined person who was always in a mood to provide all the disciplinary manner to his entire children. His early house in Rameswaram. When he was born, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born, it was the year 1931. But nowadays, if you have an opportunity to visit in place Rameswaram, you can see the house. Dr. Kalam, by his appearance, was short boy to tall parents. Means his personality was not so tall, but his parents were tall in size. He lived with his parents in their ancestral house, which was located in the Mosque Street, Rameswaram. It was Pakka house and made of bricks and limestone. Pakka house means totally furnished house. Living with his parents, Dr. Kalam says that he had secured childhood both maternally and emotionally. His house is still in existence in Rameswaram town. As a child, his interest. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says that it was the year 1939 and a war broke in the name of the Second World War. And during that time, he says that he was living in the isolation and there was no connection upward to his place. The Second World War broke out, but he was quite unaware about the situation. In those times, there was a great demand of tamarind seed in the market. He didn't know for what the purpose, but he was desirous to collect the tamarind seed because on the selling of tamarind seed, he used to receive the princely amount of 1 anna, and it gave him immense pleasure. Dr. Kalam further says that his area was located in the isolation and was not affected by the war. But after some time, the government of India declared a state of emergency. Sorry, it is not government of India. The authorities declared a state of emergency which invited army to join the allied forces in the war. Means when the situation was under control, there was no problem. But when the situation was getting critical day by day, the armies were also forced to join the war for a better response. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was happy when he received his first earning. But how he received his first earning? See the details. Dr. Kalam says that at the time of emergency, the first casualty occurred in the term of suspension of trains at Rameswaram station. Means on the basis of his explanation, it is clear the train used to stop at Rameswaram station, but the emergency was declared, and by the decision of the authorities, the suspension of train at Rameswaram station was in the existence. At the Rameswaram station, his cousin Jalaluddin used to collect the bundle of newspapers to earn his livelihood. And when this news spread, his cousin heard this news, he was shocked that how he is going to collect the bundle of newspapers at Rameswaram station in case if the train is moving continuously. The suspension of trains gave a jerk to his cousin, as it was not possible for a single person to collect the bundle of newspaper from a moving train. It was really a difficult task to do for a person. Seeing his miserable condition, Dr. Kalam offered his helping hands toward his cousin. Both the cousins used to collect the bundle of newspaper from the running train, sold it in the market. By this way, Dr. Kalam earned his first wages with the help of his cousin. Whenever he recalls that moment, it gives him immense pleasure that he was not fully grown up, but he had a sense how to work, how to perform his activity, and because of that, he received something in the name of his first earning. Dr. Kalam's personal trait merits. Dear students, most of you are aware with the personality of Dr. Kalam, how he was popular among all. Because of his popularity, he is proudly known as the people's president. Dr. Kalam tells that each of us born with some individual differences. Our personality varies from one to other. It is fact. When twins are born, it is not certain that their faces are same. If the faces are same, it is not certain the personality, the individual difference, the habits is going to same in their life. There will be a slight difference, and the same we also possess in our life. He was born in a family where honesty, discipline, goodness, kindness, etc. were the prominent things. Means only the valuable things were the matter to learn in his house. He says that most of the families train their children for a better and secure future. The same environment was provided to him and his siblings by his parents. Means the environment, such as how to develop yourself, how to develop your personality, how to behave like a good boy or a good person, all these things were discussed in the family, and all the family members enjoyed with such a things. His early friends. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says that when he was a student at his early elementary stage, he had 3 friends. Dr. Kalam shares the name of his schoolmates. They were Ramanand Shastri, Arvindan, and Shiv Prakasan, who belonged from orthodoxical Brahman families, means Hindu families. He says that only our religion was different. He says these lines because Dr. Kalam belonged to the Muslim background and all the 3 friends belong to the Hindu background. That's why he says that only our religion was different, but we were united and never felt any differences in our life. All the friends enjoyed their life. Not a single corner of their body was affected by the discrimination of religion. Narrating about his close friends, he says that Ramanand was the son of the priest of Rameswaram temple, Mr. Pakshi Lakshman Sastri. Later, Ramanand Sastri took the priesthood of Rameswaram temple and became the high priest of Rameswaram temple. Second friend Arvindan, who entered into the business of arranging transport facilities to the pilgrims who used to arrive in Rameswaram for their pilgrimage. His third friend of the elementary stage, he was Shiv Prakasan, who became a catering contractor in the Southern Railway. It was the slight introduction of his friends at the elementary stage. Role of his family during religious events. Dear students, as I have already mentioned, the profession of Dr. Kalam's father was to arrange the boat for the pilgrims who used to arrive in Rameswaram for their pilgrimage. In Rameswaram, a large gathering can be seen in the name of Hindu pilgrims. An event, Sri Ram Kalyan ceremony, is celebrated with great zeal and enthusiasm. And this festival was celebrated by the Hindu pilgrims. To meet the needs of pilgrims, most of the boat owners provided their boats and earned a good amount. It was a seasonal festival and there was a huge gathering in the town of Rameswaram. All the boat owners, they knew that this was the time have a earning. These pilgrims bring their idol of Ram from temple to the marriage site, which is located middle in the pond called Ram Tirth. It was a place and also known from Rameswaram to this place is known as Dhanushkodi. And at this place, the pilgrims used to arrive with their idols of Lord Ram and did their rituals. To cover the distance, these pilgrims board boats, all the religious event lodged an impression in the mind of Dr. Kalam. Dr. Kalam was a boy and he used to watch all the activities by all the pilgrims who used to arrive there and what the rituals they performed. It was really so splendid him to watch. Dr. Kalam further says that role of his grandmother and mother, what used to be the daily routine of his life in his house. Dr. Kalam says that an active role of all the family members carves the personality of a child in many ways. The same was done to him in his life. It is really a good thing that if your parents are docile, if they are generous, they are disciplined, you are also going to follow the same path. If they are not disciplined and not generous, the same impact is going to be imposed on your head also. In those times, children were very fond of listening stories from their parents and grandmothers. He was also fond of listening stories from his grandmother, especially stories from Ramayana and the life of Prophet Muhammad. See the thinking, good thinking of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Never in his statement he said that he followed only the Muslim religion. Besides Muslim religion, he was also interested to listen the stories of the characters of Ramayana and so many other stories too. Discrimination attitude of teacher as elementary school. Dear students, here something occurred with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and with his friend that really made a turmoil in the mind of these two friends. What happened? See here. Dr. Kalam says that when he was a student at elementary school in Rameswaram, a new teacher arrived and having seen a Muslim boy sitting with a Hindu boy, he could not digest that scene. Now you can see better in the figure that some of the students are studying on the floor and a teacher is teaching them. The boys are sitting and the second boy in the first row from left to right is wearing a cap and his look is quite different from the other boys. In fact, this boy is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. All the other boys, it seems belonging to the Hindu family or Brahmin family. Dr. Kalam only belonged to the Muslim family, and this was the main point in the eyes of that newly arrived teacher. He could not tolerate such scene. The teacher at once ordered Kalam to take his bag and occupy the last bench. The teacher was not in a mood to share the first row with other boys, Dr. Kalam. This behavior of the teacher made both the boys sad, and Ramanand Sastri began to weep when Dr. Kalam shifted from first bench to the last one. Never in their life they felt such discrimination or such condition. When Dr. Kalam was shifting from first bench to the last one, he just lowered his head and said nothing to his friend Ramanand Sastri, but a deep message they received from the teacher. What happened after the school was over? When the class was over, both the boys went to their house and narrated the incident to their respective parents. When this incident was narrated by both the boys to their parents, the father of Ramanand Sastri, Mr. Lakshman Sastri, was so furious on hearing such an incident inside the school. At once, in the presence of these two boys, he called the teacher and ordered him to beg pardon to these boys or leave the town, even leave the island also. He warned him, saying that you are a teacher here, your duty is to teach the students, not to show the seeds of poison in their innocent mind. By receiving such advice, the behavior of teacher was quickly changed. He became a good person later. The role of science teacher. The incident of two teachers is described by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in this reference. Dr. Kalam says that he was living in a society where orthodoxical opinion was the prominent thing to follow. Means people were following their religion only. They were orthodoxical in their behavior, in their nature. They were rigid for their religion. In that society, a soul was living in the name of Shiv Subramaniam Iyer, science teacher of Dr. Kalam, the man with intellectual mind, a generous person. Means this teacher was quite different from the teacher who arrived at the elementary stage. This science teacher of Kalam used to spend hours with Dr. Kalam, motivated positively and said, Kalam, I want you to develop yourself and occupy a higher place in the big cities. This teacher was highly attracted with the personality of Dr. Kalam. Maybe he was far-sighted. He saw something peculiar character in the personality of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Time and again, the teacher used to motivate Dr. Abdul Kalam positively. The teacher has had an ambition to break the barriers of the society on the basis of social discrimination. It was the main target of the teacher. He wanted to remove all the barriers from the society. On the other hand, his wife had an opposite opinion, means he was quite opposed in the nature what the teacher possessed in his life. And interesting thing is that a story is related with such incident how she was opposite in the nature of her husband. See the reference. One day the science teacher invited Dr. Kalam to his house for a meal. The wife of the teacher was horrified to see Kalam because they belonged to the Brahmin family and Dr. belonged to the Muslim family. And she was horrified to see a Muslim boy, how a Muslim boy is going to take meal in her pure kitchen. She denied to serve food to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and her behavior did not divert the determination of the science teacher. He himself went into the kitchen, brought the dishes that were cooked by his wife, and served all the food items to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. His wife was silently just peeping from the kitchen, that what the activity Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is performing. She thought that we belong to the Hindu family, our custom and our rituals are different from the Muslim families. She was observing the activities, the way of eating food, the way of cleaning floor after eating food. And what she noticed, there was not a single difference in the custom of Muslim family and a Hindu family. When Dr. Kalam was about to leave, the teacher invited him again to join the meal at next Sunday. But this incident was enough for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Next visit of Dr. Kalam to science teacher's house. When he was invited next time, there was a hesitation in his mind. How I am going to share the meal on the basis of such discrimination? Having received the invitation of science teacher, Dr. Kalam with less desire was ready to visit again, because he thought that if I am continuously going to make a visit in the house of my science teacher, there may be something odd situation happened with both of them. Seeing the hesitation of Dr. Kalam, the teacher motivated him, saying that Kalam, if you have determined to change the society, such problems will appear and disappear. It is the fact, dear students. Something is there to be changed. If all the people are saying that this is the custom, it is not going to be changed or modified. If you have the determination, just go ahead. Take the position. There will be something historical, that is called the rebellion. When Dr. Kalam visited the next time at the science teacher's house, he was shocked to see the quick change in the behavior of Mrs. Iyer. Means the lady, the wife of science teacher, was changed thoroughly. How? She not only took him into her kitchen but also served him food with her own hands. Means she didn't show any variation in the custom rituals of a Muslim boy to a Hindu. Instead, she was interested to serve food to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in her own kitchen, and all of them enjoyed the food and spent hours with them. Now here, impact of both the teachers in his life. As two incidents of arrival of two teachers has been happened with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. As we have already studied that teachers are the decorators of our personality and our life. They feel immense wisdom of life in our life. The arrival of the first teacher in his life made him to feel a little discrimination on the basis of the religion, whereas the science teacher left an effective impact on his life. How the teacher motivated, how he taught everything, it was really a good thing in his life. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam learned so many lessons from both the teachers. Now here, desire for higher study of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Kalam says that at the end of the World War II, India's freedom soon to be proclaimed. Means the people suspected that they are going to be free soon. The country was going to see the lights of freedom. At this time, Dr. Kalam urged his father for the higher study. For this, he told his father that he wanted to leave the Rameswaram town and wanted to join the district headquarters of Ramnathpuram. His father knew that his son had an ambition. Seeing the hidden talent of his son, he inspired him, saying that always possess an active ambition to be success in your life. His desire was totally up to the mark. Father's motivation to his mother. Now see what happened when Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said he wanted to leave the town of Rameswaram. The idea of leaving the town gave an emotional jerk to his mother. She was not prepared to separate her son from her. Seeing her emotion, Dr. Kalam's father conveyed his mother, saying that we have only given birth to our children, but we cannot give our thought to them. We have to provide wide space them to learn more and more aspects in their life. It is their personal life. They have more and more ideas how to develop and how to make their future bright. Here, see the conclusion of the entire chapter. As we have gone thoroughly the chapter, we learned the simplicity, honesty, generosity and whatnot from the personality of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Whatever is described here in this chapter, it's only an extract from the renowned book of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, his autobiography, Wings of Fire. In fact, this book is the autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I advise you, the students, to go through this book where you can get more valuable information about the life and about the achievement of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Now here, the chapter has been ended. Chapter has been completed, giving precious knowledge about Dr. Kalam. Hope that you enjoyed the chapter very much. Thank you very much.